Hey everyone, Tony again from Ensemble Manager. This is going to be the first in many videos to teach you how to use the new plot designer. Now, not going to lie, there is kind of a learning curve to this, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it will make sense. So the first video we're going to create here is just to get you started. Now, a couple important parts here. You notice when I come to a concert and I haven't saved it, haven't created anything yet, you notice how the musicians, it knows who to place in what chair. The way it knows how to do that is in member type. So the first thing you need to make sure is your member types, which is under member types, is set up correctly. And the piece is instrument. Here's where this is important. What is flagging or connecting the dots in this, the musician to the correct icon, is this column right here. Because everybody's going to use a different naming convention. Some people may use bass, some people may use acoustic bass, some people may use double bass. So the system can't use something, it has to have some common denominator, and the abbreviations, which comes from the Daniels, is the way to do it. So you want to make sure all your instruments are set up correctly. If this is not set up, it will not know how to flag the musician to that icon. So this is the first thing. It's really easy to do. Like if I go to bassoon, for example, into edit mode, you'll see this column here has a drop down. And these are all the abbreviations that are taken from the Daniels. So bassoon is BN. I'm going to set that to BN. Then I click save. And now that's done. So first thing to do, go over here and make sure all your abbreviations are set up correctly in your member types. Okay, I hope you've got that. Now the second thing, there's a lot to learn here, so we're just going to take you step by step. So just follow along on your computer, and I'll walk you through kind of how everything works. All right, so each of these are icons, and they're very editable in many ways. You can drag them to a different location. You can rotate them here. If you click on it, you notice it will turn green. That means it is selected when it turns green. If you double click, 1, 2, it will turn blue. Blue means you're grouping it together. So I can double click this one, I can double click that one, I can double click that one. These are all part of a group. So if I just hold the mouse down on any one of them and drag it, it drags the whole thing as a group. So that's how you group it together. Another way you can control this is this little icon right here. What this does is it's going to slide out a settings menu where you can select it. Now the first thing is taking the icons of the concert. So it's taking it from your roster. That's how it's generating this stuff over here. And it knows that this is the roster in my concert. These are, I have 5 violas, I have 3 horns, I have 2 flutes, I have 1 timpani, and so forth and so on. If you want to know like which icon goes to what instrument, if you hover over this, it will tell you like those are violas, there's my horn players, that's my flute players, there's my timpani player. So that's what this is right here. It tags this to these icons. Okay, now if I want to do how I selected this, is another way you can do this. And you notice when I selected this, it changed this over here. It went from concert to icons. All right, so up here you have 3 buttons. Concert is going to be what the concert is, the roster basically based on this concert. Icons are going to be the icons that you see on the page over here. So there's 2 pieces to this. There's view icons, which is going to be whatever icon is on your canvas right here is what you're going to see over here. And you notice it auto-populated all the names, right? So it's intelligent. It knows what name goes with what icon. Now, if you notice over here, I've got all these icons up here. All right, so let's walk through this. Remember, I clicked on this. All right, you notice when I clicked on it, this went in green. So it's telling me this is Daniel, okay? I can also do this in reverse. Instead of clicking on this, I can open this up and I click on the edit icon. It'll do the exact same thing. Now you notice as I hover over each one of these, watch the icons on the left-hand side. There's Josephine. There's Nikki. So if you're trying to find out like who is what over here, well, you just hover over it and it'll tell you who they are. So if I go to Ola here, if you notice how the green on that icon is lighter than the green that I selected. That's telling you like, okay, this is that person. Do you want to select it? If I go to edit icon, it will change. It will deselect this one and select that one. So you can only select one item at a time. Now it's in edit mode. When you see that it's in green, you'll know that it's in edit mode. And this window up at the top is very, very important, okay? This is the window that edits this icon that you have selected. So I can drag it and I can rotate it. Now, watch as I rotate this icon, you're going to see this number change. Okay, so you can do this two different ways. You can rotate it here, or you can go up here and rotate it with this drag, or you can change the number here. So let's say, for example, you're rotating it and you can't get it exactly right. Like I want it like 26, and you can't get it exactly the way you want it to. Well, if you just go here and go up and down, that way you can get this absolutely perfect. So there's three ways you can rotate: icon, slider, number, like that. Okay, the chair is the number. This is also coming from your roster. However you ordered your roster, it puts the chair in place. So that's what the chair number is. It can be changed, but it's pulling it from your roster. So if you want to change it, you can actually change it here and click save. Another thing about the save function, I'm going to just save what I've done for right now. When I save it, you notice this is going to slide and I get this pop-up that says plot was saved. So this is now saved. If I do anything, it's going to remind you, it's going to know that you changed something, and you're going to see this save button pop right back up again. So I'm going to click this and move it. Boop. It knows that I changed something. So it's going to go, oh, do you want to submit this? Now, another thing about this plot designer is it's so complex. The worst nightmare would be you spend hours getting this just right. You forgot to save, and you go up here and you click a menu button. No problem. There's a safety in here. If you change anything, if it's in this state where it says submit, and you forget and you click this, it's going to pop up a warning message and go, are you sure you want to leave, or do you want to stay? Like, oh my God, I forgot to save it. Let me stay. Then you can save it. Okay, so no worries. There's a safety if you mess something up. Okay, so I showed you also how to group things. You double click it, right? You can also do that from this window over here. This icon means group icon. If I select the top one, it groups everything. So if I want to take my entire orchestra and slide it over a couple of inches, I just select everybody and slide it over. If I want to select a couple of items, like maybe I want to select this person, and this person. So I can select over here my group icon, and that's how I can group these items together. Okay, so I'm going to deselect these, and I'm going to talk about this. This is a drag icon. Now, this does not affect your canvas over here. This is called a canvas. This just changes the order that these are put in. A lot of times you may have a really big orchestra, 80, 100 pieces, and you don't like the order that it puts it in over here because you want to kind of group everything together. Maybe you want to see like my violin ones at the top, my violin twos, and so forth and so on. No problem. You can move this around in whatever order that you want to, and it will remember this. And the next time you come back to it, it'll be in this order. So that's what that button is right there. Let's say you want to delete somebody, right? So let's say like, oh, I need to delete this chair. There's several ways you can do it. Once you selected it, your edit icon window will pop up. Okay, if I click that button right there, it will delete this person. Okay, you can do it this way. You can also do it from over here. If I want to delete this person, so first I need to find them. So again, I'm going to hover. I found them. Oh, there they are. If I check this box, it's going to put them in red. Okay, and in order for me to delete them, I have to click that button. They are now gone. Now, I say, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I need to stop that. Simply click cancel. It'll take you back a step before you saved it and put everything back in the same order again. So that's kind of roughly how this works. Now, let's say you want to add an icon. All right, so right now I'm in view icon mode. I'm going to go to add icon mode. All right, so let's say I've got my whole orchestra set up, but for one of the pieces, I need a piano because it's a piano concerto. Now, when you set your concert up, you will see it has bass plot. It will always default to that. A lot of times when you play a symphony concert, the plot will basically be the same for every single piece. But maybe you've got a concerto, so that one piece out of say 4, we got to add a piano in there, right? All right, so the way you do that is you simply select that piece, and then for that, I need to add my piano. So, all right, so I can look through it, there's my piano, or it has a search function. You can search for piano. You can do it that way. Also, we have a 9-foot grand and a baby grand. Now, while we're talking about icons, there's another thing I want to bring up. Everything is to scale, which is very important because I know people are going to use this to make sure that, I know my stage is, 50 feet long, right? Or 50 feet wide and 70 feet deep. So I need to, how am I going to make sure this is all, correct? So I have constructed everything to scale down to inches. So a square is a foot, okay? All of this, if you look at this, it will tell you in inches how big that chair is. Maybe you want to change your sizes a little bit. You can do that. Maybe like, well, I want to be precise and mine is 18 inches. No problem. You said change it to 18 inches. So you can change the size of everything, but it is to scale, which is going to be very helpful. All right, let's go back to our piano. The reason I bring that up is because I tried to put as many icons as I can. We have a 9-foot grand here, and this is a baby grand here. So I'm going to use my baby grand. All right, so I'm going to select it, and it's going to tell me, okay, how many pianos do you want? All right, we're going to do 1. And it's also going to ask me, like, do you want to tie this to a section? So let's say I want to add a chair. Maybe one of the pieces I got to add 2 extra violins for, okay? So I would go, oh yeah, this is going to be a violin chair. So in this case, I would go find my violins down here, and I'd make it a violin chair. For this one, I'm not going to assign it to any instrument. It's just like by itself, piano. But I want to add a piano, and I want to add a piano bench. Okay, so I'm going to select these 2. I got to give it its quantity. If you need to make an instrument, you do that. And then I'm going to click add. What's going to happen, it's going to add it over here. Now, right now I've got these. I'm not going to worry about them, but it's going to add it on top of it. No big deal. Okay, so you can see how it does this, right? So I'm going to take my piano. I'm going to move it. I'm going to add my piano bench, and I want to rotate that like that. And then let's say I want to move it to the front of the stage. I'm going to double click it to group it, and then I can move it wherever I want to. So that's how you add an icon and also move it around. All right, so that concludes this tutorial. It just kind of gives you an overview of how everything works. Oh, one other thing I wanted to add, almost forgot. I didn't mention this. This is a hide icon. Okay, so if you click it, it's going to hide that icon. It's up at the top. You can see where it's removing these. So that might be like you want to put this icon there, and maybe you might put it back later. So we just hide it, and that's what that is. And also you can hide it from here as well. Also, we have a copy icon. I need to mention that. This is a copy. So you make a copy, and then you say paste, and it made a copy of it. So maybe you've got, you created a chair, for example, and I showed you how you can change the size. So let's make, you're like, oh man, that means every time I got to add a chair, I got to change the size, Well, you make one chair, get it the size you want, and then you'll use your copy icon, and then you can make copies of that. So that's what the copy icon is. Okay, that concludes this part. We'll go on to the next video.